Okay, 6:03, let's call the meeting to order. First item up will be roll call. Everybody's in attendance. Stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Welcome everybody. We've got a few visitors. First item up will be approve the meeting agenda. Do we have anything to add or take off the agenda? Yes.
May I add, it'll be extremely brief, but I would like to move, well, however you want to approach it. This is what I'd like to see added. A really brief discussion on the potential of the facility being used for open gym purposes.
Okay.
And solely for the purpose of maybe getting perhaps feedback from administration and see what are the guidelines. Not expecting that it's going to be open necessarily anytime soon, but I've had some inquiries with regard to that.
Sure.
Just really recently, so that's why I didn't bring it up tonight.
Okay. That'd be something we could put into our work session, or should we do it on the agenda?
I'd appreciate it if it could be put in the agenda. I'll be real brief on it, and like I said, I don't expect a long discussion on it anyway. I just indicated to some individuals that I would do what I could to get it placed on the agenda, just for purposes of getting maybe some perspective, whether it's 2 years down the road or 2 weeks down the road.
Okay. Barb, would we put that under business, or would we create a other? Yeah.
I think probably business.
Okay. So we'll add I under business items for facility use. Discussion.
I promise it'll be brief.
Okay.
To try to motivate everybody to agree with it.
Okay. Are you anticipating it'll be an action item or
no
a discussion item?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to approve the meeting agenda with the letter I, facility use discussion.
Okay, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Greg. Any discussion on the agenda? No discussion. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same. We should have done a roll call, but everybody's here, so. Opportunity for visitors to address the board. We have senior class representatives. We're going to present requests for senior privileges for 2021. Welcome.
I'm Donna Thompson.
I'm Allie Heidi.
And we're representing the senior class with the senior privileges. The first one, only seniors will be released and serve lunch first for the fourth quarter, 12:05.
For the second, with the one-time prior written permission of their parents and a C or above in all fourth quarter classes, seniors may leave the school building during periods 1 through 7 if they have a scheduled study hall class. Seniors must sign in and out of the office.
Number 3, with a one-time prior written permission of their parents, seniors may have open lunch from 12:05 to 12:41. Students need to leave and enter through door number 8, the media center doors, or door number 1, office doors.
Number 4, between the hours of 8 a.m. and 3:30 p.m., the front row of the west parking lot is reserved for seniors. Signs will be posted.
Number 5, seniors are allowed to leave from AP Calc class beginning May 4th and grab band rehearsal beginning May 11th.
Number 6, seniors with 80% or better average in a class for quarter 3 and quarter 4 do not need to take the final test for that class or be present in school in that class the last 4 student days of school, May 24th to 27th. That's all. Thank you.
might want to say, they might have some questions.
Are there any last second additions you guys would like to see on there? Nothing?
Are these consistent with last year's?
Most of them.
Most of them? And I'm guessing we'll be approving these later? Yep. Okay. Anybody have any questions?
I'm sure you don't want to stay in AP Health the whole year.
Okay, I don't have anything further. Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, should we pause and quick take a group photo before we get too deep and start losing personnel to help us take a photo? Any ideas on where we should do it? Do it in the backdrop?
If we took it after the meeting, would you want to take it in the boardroom?
We can do that.
We can do that. I just didn't know if we're gonna lose people later, so we can do it afterwards. So. Okay. We'll wait. Thanks. Okay, next item up, we've got some acknowledgements. We have the girls basketball, Heart of Lakes Conference champions again. Congratulations to them. It's 3 years in a row. And shout out for our tech team this year, Rudy Martinez, Bill Simmons, Monica Thompson, Evelio Fernandez, and the Lakes Country Service Co-op tech team. I think they were vital this year with the learning models that we've had, so appreciate that. We'll move on to administrative reports. First item up, Mr. Nelson, elementary principal and activities director.
March enrollment, we're at 425. Parent teachers conferences, we had 86% of parents participate in the spring parent teachers conferences. Kindergarten registration right now, as of Friday, this is updated from your sheet, but we have 53 kindergartners that are registered. We have 19 families that we have not heard from yet. So we're anticipating just around that 70, 71, 72 mark. 72 would be kind of if everyone that's on the list says, yes, they're coming next year. That's without any new people moving in as well. So we're keeping an eye on that. We received news a week ago that state testing could be moved back 2 weeks if we want. So we've started the discussion with the staff if they want that. Some of the discussions, some are in favor, some want to leave it. So might be a grade level decision whether we move it back a little bit or leave it as is. They have to all be completed by May 21st. So they give us flexibility to move that back. We met this morning for the third time with the instructional leadership team. We looked at the student survey that was done by elementary students, as well as parent survey, staff survey, and the data collection. We had about, I think it was 150 pages worth of results from that. Today was the first day we looked at it, analyzing what people think we're doing well, what we need to do better. So I will send you guys out a summary of those findings after we kind of condense it down a little bit, unless you'd like to see all of the pages of information. So it's been very good meetings. Thanks to Monica Thompson, who helped get all the surveys ready and sent out to staff and to teachers to send home for families. And also Christy Sullivan and Todd Benner from Lakes Country for leading these discussions we've been having. So 3 really good meetings we've had so far. We'll meet again in April to look at testing results in the past and look at our data that way and where we've been higher, maybe areas of growth that we need to continue to work on. So Our thing is last year we had no testing, so we have no data from last year other than like the individual star results, but no Minnesota State testing data. Go by. Activities, team wrestling went on March 11th. First round they beat OTC, and then second round lost to Bertha Hewitt Burndale Parkers Prairie. So very nice win over OTC. The individual starts tomorrow. They go to West Central, and from that they'll take the top 4 in each section, and they will advance to Saturday, what they call a super regional, where they will be in Long Prairie. And we're in section 6, and 4 wrestlers from section 5, they'll come together, so there'll be 8 people in a weight class, and then the, I think top one or two go to state from there. So not as many kids are going down to state, but they're still having that chance to have a state tournament. State tournament will be the 26th, 27th, whatever that Saturday is, the last Saturday in March. And that is at St. Michael Albertville High School this year. Each weight class has their own day. So 3A will be one day, 2A will be one day, A will be one day. So there won't be everybody at one spot like it has been in the past this year. Again, congratulations to the girls basketball team. 3 conference championships in a row. Outstanding. Their playoffs start on Wednesday. They'll play Wednesday. If they advance, they'll play Friday. Both games will be at home. And then the following week, they would play Tuesday, and Thursday would be the finals. Finals at a neutral site. Thursday or Tuesday would be could be at home. It could be away, depending on how the brackets go. For our site, we can have 125 tickets for each school. If Staples is coming here and they don't sell all their tickets, we can take some of those tickets and sell. And we'll be working on that. We probably won't know until Wednesday morning whether we have extra tickets or not, but we'll try to get the word out as soon as we can about what tickets they don't sell. So kind of tight turnaround between if you win Wednesday to Friday, but we'll do our best to get that word out. Boys basketball, they play on Thursday. They will go to Barnesville. Barnesville is only, their capacity is smaller than us, so we only get 90 tickets and they get 90 for their game there. I did offer them we could play here, so we could have more people at the game and make more money for the section. They declined our offer. I just thought, looking at the section, they're kind of hurting for money. They only make an extra $500 and some for the section, but not sure why they turned us down, but I thought it was a good offer anyway. I've also included the spring sport guidance that came out last Monday. And even when we got those, on Wednesday, we got update in track where they had changed some things. Today, I got an update in golf where they changed some things. So things are up there, but they continue to change. And then with the governor's new order of more people being allowed starting April 1st at events, I'm guessing we have got nothing on spectators for spring sports or what the mask requirements will be during spring sports. They keep telling us those are coming. So as soon as we get that, we pass things on to our coaches. And I think if the Twins could have, 10,000 at a game, I think we could have at least that, probably. I think their seating's close to target field, but so yeah, that's if it's snowing outside, it doesn't really look like spring, but spring will be here soon. So, any questions on anything?
When does track start?
29th. All spring sports start the same day this year.
There's a good chance the track might be available by then.
The track is pretty clear other than the south corner.
Yep.
There's about 2 lanes open, the other ones have a little bit of snow, but guessing by then it'll be pretty open.
I've had it other years unless something happens between then.
Correct, yeah.
Okay,
Thank you.
thanks. Mr. Martinez, Finance Director.
Just testing to make sure there's no echo, but there is.
All right, treasurer's report. Last month was ultimately our highest expense month because we have the majority of the bond payments from here until the end of the fiscal year. It's pretty much recovered the majority of our the majority of our cash on hand, which is it's a good sign for us. We're at a pretty stable cash on hand limit that gives us the flexibility to do many things and not have to worry about adding paraprofessionals that are needed now that we have all the students back on the building. So that's a good feeling to know that when need arises, we can cover it right away. Investments, we began the month with $2.4 million. We received $975,000 in state aid, from which I withdrew $795 to cover our month expenses. At the end of the month, we had expenses of $2.6 million. So that particular investment is going to continue to grow from now until the end of the year. The way that looks like is we always measure our cash flow. So we're projected to end somewhere in the ballpark of about $4 million, which is a very, very healthy cash flow for us to have. In terms of the general fund, remember at the beginning of the year, the general fund is almost pretty much like an accrued expense where towards the end of the year it starts to balance out, and you see that happening now. Last month we started at 238, now it's at 275. But we have our levy payment, still the second half of the levy payment coming in here in the next couple of months, and that will bring this into a surplus. At the end of the day, the cash in the general fund account was $199, sufficient to cover our expenses. But at any point in time, if we need money, we always pull from our investment. Petty cash account, again, we just keep it there to pay reps or any bill that is urgent on hand. Started with $28,000. We made $1.39 in interest, bringing the total to $28,658. Student activity accounts, not a lot of activity, and again, it's for that reason that we're so limited still because of COVID with all the fundraisers. We started the balance with 176, had deposits of 1,000. We paid out payables of $4,200, bringing the end total in our student activity account of 173. That is what we had in terms of cash movement throughout the month. We'll go to the second page, which is pretty much our collateral report. Again, this report is a monthly report, simply our bank telling us that we have enough collateral if they ever were to fail as a bank. We have $3.6 million in insurance, so it's plenty of collateral. We'll move on to the journal entries. Very quiet month for me in the sense that because now the first wave of the federal grants that came in regards to the Corona Relief Act and CARES Act have now pretty much expired. So there's not much journal entries. Really, why you see those 3 journal entries is just to make sure that I balance my goals at the end of the month. That's what I have. Then the last pages, of course, again, it's all of our payables that we record throughout the month period. This is all of the general fund account. And like I mentioned before, on the left-hand side, you have what kind of payment it was. So here's all the wires that ran through our accounts, followed by all the checks that we printed. And then towards the bottom of the report, you will always find the expenditures for the student activity account. So if you guys are ever interested in terms of how that money is spent and how we approve it, I'll be more than happy to share our procurement process for that, but ultimately you see it here towards the end. That's all that I have for the treasurer's report. Anything else before I move into other agenda items? Okay. I have a question. Yes.
Before student activities, yep, we got about 174,000.
Yep.
Part of that
and I apologize, but I had asked this before. What portion of that is attributable to those funds that were raised by students for band trip / other trips that might be commingled in there?
We have a ledger account with all those balances, but ultimately all the money that you see here is money fundraised by students for students, and each of the organizations has a balance for their own. So behind the 173 there is, I want to say, maybe about 30 different student organizations. In regards to the band trip and Spanish trip, that is a high liquidity account that sometimes can have balances up to $30,000. And it's money that we pay to that travel agency for booking all the reservations to bring students safely there and back.
Yeah. So there's a lot of 30 organizations, essentially?
About 30 organizations for different purposes. I can get you an exact number.
I'll just, well, my ultimate question is, and I can follow up with you just outside of the board meeting, to kind of get a more detailed report, but for example, I think of, let's say, I suppose band class is not band class, so let's just take soccer.
Okay.
So I'm assuming one of the 30 organizations activities would be soccer, right?
Yes, both girls and guys.
So those funds that were raised for soccer, the types of things that those monies would be spent on for the soccer program, are those things solely equipment related, or are they, can you order sandwiches for the student athletes after the game? What sort of things can they be spent on?
So the most political answer I can give you is that we are governed by SB 84 that really limits how that particular money can be spent. It does have to follow the public purpose rule. And in addition to that, we're very limited on what they can do. So the first thing is it needs to provide a benefit to that entire organization as a whole, as a community, as a school, and then as a community. The majority of the things that we spend out of that is that when a team travels and they want to spend money, or they need team gear, or they need equipment, but it has to stay for that particular activity, and it has to carry on from year to year. You can't give individualized gifts, you can't give scholarships, you can't pay labor out of it, but in essence, if we ever have a question regarding how the money is spent, we contact Dave Bailey, who's our auditor, and he gives us better guidance. And sometimes, because the regulations are very gray, a lot of the times we end up asking the question, can the money be spent on this?
So one last question. With shoes, you would say, whether it's basketball, baseball cleats, track cleats, soccer cleats, if in an effort, would those items ever be able to fall under being eligible to provide our student athletes those items as part of their uniform?
My initial answer is yes. The difference would be that the shoes would then remain within the program, so then other students can reuse them, as you're going to make it part of a public equipment.
Right, they wouldn't take them home.
Exactly.
After the season comes.
Exactly.
But it would fall under the category based on your understanding right now.
Correct.
That if something, if there was a push to provide a team with footgear, the appropriate footgear, that would be an option that potentially would be available, utilizing those funds so long as that gear stayed with the school.
Okay, exactly correct. What we cannot do, and we have to be very careful and have to say it very clearly, is we cannot buy shoes and then provide them to an individual as a gift. So we can't say, Johnny, here's a size 8 or U. Instead, we can buy an inventory and say, hey, anybody needs shoes from the team, there they are, check them out, bring them back.
So that really creates some practical difficulties.
It does.
Okay, thanks a lot.
Greg, I think most teams like, for example, soccer, year or two ago bought heavier coats that stays with the soccer program. So if it's cold day, they pull out those coats. And they all go back at the end of the year. The soccer program keeps them. They're not like an individual. Yeah. So baseball a couple years ago bought a bunch of screens for over the field. So it's more equipment than like that everyone uses rather than like an individual.
That's all the two individuals. I got it. Thank you.
Yeah. Other things that we have in terms of what we look at the finance piece that are kind of under my umbrella is the technology positions that we're asking for the approval. So there has been a lot of time behind this. We've done research over a year now regarding what are the needs of our school. In terms of technology, we've had multiple discussions with the administration team, the technology department team, so we can strategize and plan for the future. Today, what we have is a Lake Country Service contract, which we've under for many, many years, and they do amazing work for us. One of the things that we learned very quickly in the pandemic that it was easier for us to have people here and invest here rather than paying a contract. And the reason for that is because, you know, our servers can go out in the middle of a thunderstorm in the summer, and we need somebody to respond to it rather quickly. What we're also trying to do is we're trying to continue to consolidate our contracts to give the better value to the district. So by us canceling the Lake Country Service technology contract and rather hiring directly, we're actually saving the district significant amount of money and getting more for it out. So that's the whole premise behind this push. We have now legally and professionally in Lake Country Service the termination of the contract letter. They've accepted it and had a few conversations with them. So now what we would like for the board to do is to approve the technology coordinator and technology integration position so we can staff properly. This will be our direct employees. Again, at the end of the day, it makes sense for us, it makes sense for our students, and it makes sense for our budget. So I'll pause there and entertain any questions.
Hear no questions?
All right. The second thing is every year we approve a food service agreement with service. This is an annual thing. There's a lot of regulations behind this. And again, the majority of it is that they bid for us on our behalf. And a lot of the vendors give us a discounted price to the Lake Country Service Co-op. We've been doing it for many, many years, great service. And we're just renewing it. Then the last thing is the achievement integration budget. We always ask for the approval. And I'll jump into a spreadsheet just so you guys can kind of get an idea about the achievement integration budget. We were projected to receive $164,000 for achievement integration. This is a Minnesota statute that provides us additional dollars per student that are either EL students or they look at his data and they understand that there's some type of achievement gap because of many dimensions that come with society, whether it's diversity or any other social aspect. So the state gives us $164,000, and then we have to find ways and resources on how to spend that money. What we spend it on today is we provide the Read 180 program. We provide an ESL teacher at the elementary, and then we provide Spanish for Spanish speakers at the high school, in addition to a new program that we're trying to find to provide students is in Introduction to Education. Essentially, the theory behind it is we want to grow our own teachers, and then better would be if they come from diverse backgrounds. Mr. Forth and Lauren are doing substantial work with universities and colleges to see where we can potentially offer that class. I'm not going to get into what it all takes and talk about the curriculum piece, but that's essentially how we're spending our money. At the end of the day, as I mentioned, we're going to receive $164,000, and we're going to budget to the penny. We always want to spend this money. We only have a stipulation of carrying 10% forward. We really don't like to do that. We like to spend it in our students. And it's one of that, when I talk about budget, I talk about restricted revenue. This is that restricted revenue that we'd like to spend right away before we touch our reserve for our unassigned fund balance. Questions regarding the achievement and integration budget? The last piece that I'll add to this is that with the achievement and integration budget, you guys are pretty much familiar with the programs that we share with, I believe it's 9 other districts or 7 other districts regarding the West Central Cultural Collaborative Program. This is the program that we host because we're the racial identified school in our region. And essentially what we do is we provide other school districts the service of showing them how great our student is, our student body is. So we bring our students, they do a lot of fun activities, whether it's pen pals, or they read a book together, then they watch a movie together, or they go to Maplewood and on a nice trip, or they have Spanish Olympics. We offer many different activities, and that is a self-funded program that's in the achievement and integration budget that we have to write a plan with all the participating districts every 3 years with NDE. So we are on year 2 of our achievement integration plan that we wrote last year with Dr. Richardson. We're going to continue to offer all these great opportunities. Essentially, at the end of the year, we always bill the collaborating districts, and that is how we pay the stipend for our organizers here at Healthcare. That is pretty much a net-zero program. We always run it at zero deficit. We believe it's a great opportunity for all of our area. We're going to continue to provide and invest in it. Today, the 2 leaders for the achievement and integration budget is Mr. Bergman and Becky Wonder. They're the ones who organized it, and Mr. Corp is the one who oversees it. And I crunch numbers for them. So that's what we have in terms of the achievement and integration budget. Awesome program. Hopefully legislators can pay us more. Questions regarding achievement and integration? All right, that's all I got for you guys. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Court, High School Superintendent Report.
Okay, a few items here. First is enrollments. We're at 413 students here, 7 to 12. Started the school year off with 419. MCA testing starts this week. Starting with reading 8th and 10th grade. And that will continue on for the next few weeks. The challenge will be testing distance learners. So we're working on that, setting that up to have them come in and take the MCA test. Senior privileges, that will start March 23rd. So if you approve them tonight, that's when they will start. Just the process of that, just so you know that they presented to the building leadership team last week, and the building leadership team went through them, and they said no to a few items that they requested. So all the items that you heard tonight, they approved, the building leadership team approved last week. Distance learners currently at the high school, as of last week, is at about 45 students. So out of 413, they're full-time distance learners. So you can kind of see the percent that we have. Parent-teacher conferences, if you look below, you can see our parent-teacher conferences this spring is at 23%, and fall was at 17%, so we went up a little bit. But compared to the other years, you can see that we're down. Hopefully next year that we can meet in person with parent-teacher conferences and reconnect face-to-face with our parents, guardians of our students. Spring activities, dates may change, but right now we have plans of prom. We're working on that. Mr. Schliman's the prom advisor. So she had a meeting last week with all the juniors and seniors. So she's starting the process with that. Of course, things can change over time. Post-prom is organizing activities for after prom. Right now, looks like that we would have a evening grand march, no meal, and a possible dance. So that's kind of what we're looking at for prom. And then after that, they would have the post-prom. So High school band concert, choir concert, we're looking at some dates there and trying to have some type of end of year concert. What that would look like for, that's all being worked on, things can change, but they would like to have some type of concert or in person and have something for an audience. So we'll see what happens here over the next few weeks. Graduation is May 28th at 7 p.m. Right now, we're going to see what's going to be coming out here with Governor Walz, and we'll be working on details of graduation over the next few weeks. Our dream would have it inside and try to get back to some normalcy with the grand band and things like that, but see what we can do and can't do here over the next few weeks. Master calendar for approval. I don't know if you have any questions or concerns about the master calendar for next year. Pretty similar to this year. One thing that maybe is a little bit different is the snow days. We did put in 3 snow days, 3 make-up snow days. We were concerned with if we had like multiple snow days, we were worried about a little bit of missing too much school. So then what we did was do 3 snow makeup days that would be in person. After that, then we would look at e-learning days. So that's fine with that. That's what's a little bit different than this year. Okay. Any questions there, concerns with the master calendar? Okay. Thank you to staff who are retiring, Mrs. Gould, Mr. Hogan, and Mrs. Strand for all the years of service, their dedication, the impact they made on our students. We appreciate everything that they have done for our school district. Upcoming events, you know, you look at, we just talked about end of the quarter, mid-quarter, April 16th, and then May 28th is graduation. So I think in April, hopefully we'll have a little bit more details regarding graduation. And if we have something where board is going to attend, and we'd ask who would attend in person. So we'll set up in that April board meeting. Questions? Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Ryan. Looks like you're getting a lot of reading coming up here. Next item up will be consent items. Approve board meeting minutes from February 8th, 2021, regular meeting. B, financial claims, February bills. C, treasurer's report. D, accept donations to the Al Siegley Scholarship in memory of Dwayne Strom and Darlene Strom, $1,000. To scholarships, Ellen Howgard, $50. Pelican Rapids Schools, Ward Muscatel Automotive Group, $100. To scholarships in memory of Roger Berggren, Glenn and Colleen Morkey, $20. And to scholarships in memory of Roger Berggren, Jade and Lisa Pesnick, $20. Personnel, approval request from Alejandra Villagomez for a medical child care leave from approximately April 27th, 2021 to May 27th, 2021. Accept the resignation of Sarah Davis as assistant softball coach. Accept the resignation of Jeff Peter as part-time music teacher effective February 2nd, 2021. Hire Nancy Hansen as special education paraprofessional. Hire Magdalena Salazar as special education paraprofessional. She's in Viking Elementary Kindergarten. Hire Chelsea Hart as special education paraprofessional for the high school. Approve the following lane change requests. Emily Martin Thompson, BA 10S to BA plus 20S. Cody Schaefer from BA to BA plus 10S. And approve technology positions, technology coordinator and the technology integrationist. And F, approve food service agreements through Lakes Country Service Co-op for 2021-2022. Anything we need to discuss on those? I'll entertain a motion for the consent items. Is that Brenda? Brenda, okay.
Second.
Motion by Brenda, second by Ann. Any discussion on the consent items? Hearing no discussion, all those in favor signify by saying aye. 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 Barb, we still need to do this roll call.
I'm not sure.
We could do it that way.
Or else you could show hands too.
Okay, just so they can hear us.
Just so they can see and hear.
Okay. We'll do it by roll call. Ann?
Aye.
Brittany? Aye. Greg?
Aye.
Brenda?
Aye.
Molly? And aye. Consent item carried. Business items will be approved a letter of retirement from David Hogan effective May 28th, 2021. And I've got a letter here that I will read. Dated March 2nd, 2021, Dear Superintendent Corp and the Independent School District 548 School Board. Please accept my resignation from my teaching and coaching duties at Pelican Rapids High School effective at the end of 2020-2021 school year, as I will be retiring from my career as a teacher at that time. I don't know what Mr. Morkey saw in me to give me the opportunity to work here as a kid right out of college in the spring of 1987, but I'm so thankful that he took a chance on me. Despite my excitement of getting this job and moving to Pelican Rapids, I really thought it would be a short-term job and that I would move on to a different school district after a few years. A couple years later, I realized that I had everything I needed here, bought a house, and never found a good reason to work anywhere else. I appreciate the support the community has provided me as a teacher and a coach. Sure, you know, I have taught in the same classroom for all 34 years. This has been a great place to raise my family, and I'm thankful to have made Pelican Rapids my home. Sincerely, David Hogan. And then there's a PS. If you don't accept my resignation, several board members and a superintendent will have their high school math grades changed. So. Brittany, you have them?
I did, and I'll risk my grade.
Molly? Brenda was here with you guys?
He came right now.
Okay. I think I was in 8th grade when he showed up here. So Brian, I know what happened. And Rudy would have. I'll move to approve the letter of retirement from David Hogan effective May 28th, 2021.
I'll make a motion.
And Brittany seconds. Any discussion? Hearing no discussion, all those in favor approve, signify by saying aye. We'll do a roll call again. Ann?
Aye.
Brittany?
Aye.
Greg? Aye. Brenda? Molly? I'm an aye. Next item up will be approved the letter of retirement from Clean Gould effective May 28th, 2021. Also have a letter here dated March 2nd. Dear Mr. Brian Court, please accept this as my formal notice of my resignation from the position of Family and Consumer Science Facts, as well as my extracurricular duty of Honor Society Advisor. After careful consideration, I have made a difficult decision to retire from teaching at the end of the 2020-2021 school year. My last day of employment will be May 28, 2021. I'd like to say that I'm proud of what this school district has accomplished in the 15 years that I have been employed with PRHS. I feel privileged to say that I started my teaching career here when Mr. Morkey took a chance on this 50-some-year-old non-traditional first-year facts teacher, and I will end my teaching career at the same school. Working for the Pelican Rapids School District has been a wonderful experience for me because it's given me many opportunities to learn and grow as a teacher. I've made many lifetime friends here at school and in the community at large. I will always cherish the memories that are made here at PRHS and how I became Mama Gould to so many students, staff, and community members. Sincerely, Clean Gould. So I entertain a motion to approve her letter of retirement. Motion by Ann. Second by Brittany. Any discussion? Hearing no discussion, all those in favor signify by saying aye. I'll do a roll call again. Ann?
Aye.
Brittany?
Aye.
Greg?
Aye.
Brenda?
Aye.
Molly? And aye. Next item up will be approved the letter of retirement for Chelsea Strand, effective May 28th, 2021. This letter is dated February 8th. Dear school board members and administration, the end of the school year, May 28th, 2021, will be my last year teaching at Pelican Elementary School in the Title I program. I'm retiring from this position that I've loved for over 31 years. Thank you to all the staff and students who have made the years so rewarding. Our family has been blessed to be part of this great Viking community in Pelican Rapids. Sincerely, Chelsea Strand. It's quite a few years too. Entertain a motion to approve the letter of retirement for Chelsea Strand. Motion by Brenda. Brittany, do you want the second?
I'll second.
Okay. Any discussion? Hearing no discussion. All those in favor of approving Chelsea Strand's letter of retirement signify by saying aye. I'll do a roll call again. Ann?
Aye.
Brittany? Aye. Greg? Aye. Brenda? Molly? And I'm an aye. Next item up will be approve the 2021 final seniority list. Did we all receive that? Yeah. That's been approved on both sides. Posted?
Yep.
Okay.
Make a motion to approve the 2021 final seniority list.
Okay. Motion by Ann. Have a second? Okay. Second by Molly. Any discussion on the seniority list? Hearing no discussion, all those in favor signify by saying aye. We'll do a roll call. Ann?
Aye.
Brittany? Aye. Greg? Aye. Brenda? Aye. Holly? And I'm an aye. And approved. Item E, approve senior privileges for 2021. We have the presentation, so do you have any discussion or questions?
I'll make a motion to approve the senior privileges for 2021.
Motion by Brenda, do we have a second? I'll make a second. Any discussion on senior privileges for this year? Hearing no discussion, all those in favor of approving the senior privileges for 2021 signify by saying aye, and I'll do a roll call again. Ann? Aye. Brittany? Aye. Greg? Aye. Brenda? Molly? Aye. And I'm an aye. Item F, approve the 2021-2022 master calendar.
I move to approve the 21-22 master calendar.
Okay.
Second.
That was Ann.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. We have a motion by Greg, second by Ann. Any discussion on the calendar? Anything you need to add, Brian? Calendar?
Oh, I think we
Covered
covered
it
that in the report.
Yep. Okay. All right. Any more discussion? No discussion. All those in favor signify by saying aye. We'll do a roll call again. Ann?
Aye.
Brittany?
Aye.
Greg? Aye. Brenda? Molly? And I'm an aye. So that's approved. Item G, approve the achievement integration budget, which Rudy had presented to us in his report. Anything more we need to know? We're good. Okay.
That's a question, but we have to answer that.
I'll entertain a motion.
Make a motion.
Motion by Ann. We have a second. Second by Molly. Any discussion on the achievement integration budget? Motion. Hearing no discussion. All those in favor signify by saying aye. We'll do a roll call again. Ann?
Aye.
Brittany?
Aye.
Greg? Aye. Brenda?
Aye.
Molly? And it carries, and I'm an aye. Set a meeting date for the transportation committee. That's item H. So we probably need to meet. Remember who's on the committee? I was at one time. I don't know if I am on anymore. Greg?
I can be.
Okay.
There's something pressing that triggers us needing to
Maybe contract again?
When does that usually get executed?
It expires in June 30th, and the new one goes into effect July 1st, so if we can start meeting with all the students.
I think it was approved in June, at the June meeting.
April 17th at 5 o'clock. Work.
Am I on that anymore?
Go for it.
Where are we leaving?
And do you need more people on the committee? Do you remember who was with you?
At the time, it was Mike Ford and Ann.
No, I can do.
My recollection is it might have been just Mike.
It was usually two. Okay. I used to be on it, and then I hadn't been on the last one. So.
I'll join you,
Okay.
but I can't do Saturday and Sunday.
How about March? Do you think the bus company would like us to, how about March 25th?
Thursday, that could work.
Let's go,
Do you want to ask all the people?
Wonder.
why don't we wait there too? Oh, let's go March 24th. So Wednesday, right?
Wednesday,
March 24th at 5:30.
that could work for me.
Okay.
If it was too small.
Could be. Did I reach out to Paul?
Sure.
March
Either you or
24th.
I, you said 5:30?
Yeah.
Okay.
24th, 5:30.
How should
Or,
we do
since
this?
I got it right now.
Do we want to set that meeting in stone and then in case it doesn't work for fall or?
Is there activities on it?
Could be.
Oh, do we wait till April?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then when it hits April, we'll contact Paul in April.
Wait until April meeting to make a decision on. This is.
Well, the April work session, can we talk about the April work session?
On the fifth,
Like dates, yeah.
Good,
Or just starting early, like that week, I could just send him a quick message.
Yep.
And then I don't know, would he attend the work session to figure it out, or just?
I think so.
Well, we can contact him that week. And see what dates work for a transportation meeting.
Okay.
Does that work for you, Ms. Martinez?
It might not be a good week either. We'll see.
So we're just gonna let you guys coordinate them, set something up, okay, so we wouldn't set anything, so, so how should we?
I'm going to allow, Brittany Dawkins to coordinate efforts with Superintendent Ford to coordinate efforts to meet with the bus committee with the school bus companies contracted with.
Okay. I'll second.
Discuss, the contract for the, beginning July 1, 2021. Year.
So I'll second it, should we simplify it though? Okay, so you might need to repeat it again.
I'll repeat it. Oh, you need to repeat it? I moved to allow Brittany Dawkins And Superintendent Court, the discretion to coordinate efforts with the bus company for purposes of discussing the school bus company contract for next year.
I seconded that. Any more discussion? Hearing no discussion, all those in favor of approving Greg's motion signify by saying aye, and we'll do a roll call. Ian?
Aye.
Brittany?
Aye.
Greg?
Aye.
Brenda? Holly? And I'm an aye. Item I, facility use discussion. So, let you start, I guess, or?
Yeah, like, the ultimate question is, and it's probably directed much more so towards Mr. Nelson, but, I've had a few people come up recently, you know, of course, in light of the pandemic, shut down the gym, you know, which was enjoyed by many, many people of all ages for a few years, which is awesome. Understandably, so it's been shut down for the last year or so. Is there any, in light of what you know now from the recent, I mean, does the school rely upon, of course, the governor's order, the Minnesota, I don't know, does the Minnesota State High School League enter into the equation with regard to that? So would that decision ultimately get made by utilizing the information incorporated into governor's orders as moving forward, or Minnesota Department of Health memorandums, or what sort of information will the school be relying upon in determining when the school could consider reopening up the gymnasium for open gym purposes?
So what we've done with the request we've had, we met as an admin team and discussed this and given timelines to people. Here down below, there's wrestling going on. You know, keep wrestling and just for kids to use in the small town room. You know, so other groups have been having access to use teams have been practicing. So things are opened up quite a bit here recently.
And I think individuals from the public, there might be a bit of confusion because they do see the gym used by technically non-school organizations. So for example, 6th grade boys basketball. That's not under the school umbrella, but the school has allowed 6th grade boys basketball to schedule through the school a certain time frame for which it can practice. There has to be a supervisor there. And I think when the public sees that, there's a bit of confusion thinking, well, if that group can do that, why can't we just get a bunch of people in there and play basketball? And my response to them is, you know, ultimately there needs to be some individual identified as a supervisor, and that there's a background check type process or some sort of application process. Am I correct in that, Derek?
Yeah, and then, you know, they have to keep track of who's been there and, you know, so in case there's any reason they have to go back and do contact tracing, so that they could do that. That's probably the biggest thing with open gym where it's just random people coming. Or like a 6th grade practice, you know what kids are coming, youth wrestling, they know what kids are coming. It's a little more controlled than just open for whoever's coming in off the street at this point.
So do you have any suggestions for any of us if somebody comes up to us and says, hey, when do you think open gym's gonna come back? I know it's constantly changing. And I don't expect any sort of definite conclusion to be made tonight, but I mean, is it best just to say at this point you don't know? Or is there some hope that
I would hope by like summer things could open back up, you know, fully. The problem with spring is it's so busy, the gym, depending on weather. Or you hate to commit it because it's bad weather, we have wrestling for track, baseball, softball, all in there. You know, so it gets used a lot, so hate to commit a space and then during school day or after school, and it could be, have to be used for sports practices as well. And then you got concerts that'll possibly be in the gym this year, so set up for that. So
During school year, it's say very unlikely, extremely unlikely. Once summer hits, it's probably gonna have to be reevaluated at that point, depending on how our world is at that.
I think if the numbers keep going in the right direction, I think it would be probably highly recommended that we, by summertime, start opening that back up. The thing is, what we don't want to have happen is have to shut down 5 elementary classes because of an open gym exposure. So right now, when they're practicing the grade level, you know, so it could be 2 not, you know, but
One other thing I brought up to a couple of individuals recently was with open gym, and this may go hand in hand with, you know, isolating it per grade, but, you know, you get elementary school age kids with high school age kids, and one of the district's goals is to try to prevent the commingling of the two student populations. Right? Okay. That's really the only, that's the sole purpose. I just wanted to get that on the agenda. I know about 6-7 years ago, there was a facilities use, or maybe 5 years ago, a facilities use committee that was created. That was a part of that. I don't recall if that's still in place or not. But if we don't have them now, I think it's a nice committee to have, and maybe at a future meeting, discuss putting together facilities use committee.
We went over, I think, policy, who to charge, who doesn't get charged, and it may be time just to go through that. Updated. It's been a while since Charlie and I don't remember who else has gone through it.
the new facility was built, so we looking at watching track use and different groups, and not sure how many groups we're gonna request the finalists, and we kind of went through everything at that time.
You think something like an open gym on, let's say Wednesday night, just for adults playing basketball with no students intermingled in there, would be better for our student population if they're adults kind of on their own, but break them into a size limit on groups. I don't know how that works, or how many show up for playing basketball.
I feel like this time we should not let anybody in just because of the playoffs. And the kids have all worked so hard, and I would hate to have somebody that is not a controlled group come in and somehow take out a team that's worked so hard to get to where they're at this point. So I would think that we would want to hold off for a while at least, and let these guys get through, at least the winter sports get through their season.
I agree. I mean, I think the goal is to protect the students in the school throughout the entire spring season. But that's why I think the facilities use committee to regenerate that committee would be helpful to coordinate efforts, at least having a plan in place so that when things do open up considerably, we're ready to go. Because I know the public really appreciated the school being open as much as it was, and it was utilized.
You know what other districts are doing for open gym or open weight room or Underwood or some of the other towns? Are they still on it?
I don't think it's at all.
You know, they're letting the teams by grade come in, but I haven't heard anyone with just open gym.
All right, thanks for letting me add that.
No.
Thanks for the discussion.
Okay. We'll move on, so we can move into our work session. Upcoming meetings, we have a work session April 5th. That'll be at 6 p.m. Regular meeting, April 19th, 6 p.m. And we've got a work session scheduled for May 3rd, 2021, 6 p.m. The regular meeting set for May 17th, 6 p.m. Do we need any discussion on those dates, or we'll still, they're upcoming on the work session later, we could discuss topics for those meetings. Okay, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn. Motion by Ann.
I'll second.
Second by Brittany. Any discussion on adjourning? Hearing no discussion. All those in favor signify by saying aye. We'll do a roll call again. Ann?
Aye.
Brittany?
Aye.
Greg? Aye. Linda? Molly? And I'm an aye. We're adjourned. We'll roll right into our work session. Recording. We're not recording. What's that? What's that? We're not recording. We're not recording our session.